Hey everyone, this is KJ SAWKA from Seattle, Washington. You're listening to Bass Island.
Oh yeah, yes, you heard it right. I've got on the phone KJ SAWKA. Hello there, welcome on Bass Island.
Woohoo!
You. So we've known you as part of the biggest band in bass music, Pendulum, obviously. And now we've just made your brand new track, Repeating Cycles, Smasher of the Week here on Bass Island. So it's an honor to have you on the phone.
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to be here on the phone with you.
Thank you. Okay, so I know you were producing before starting the adventure with Pendulum, right?
Yes, that's right.
What came first, producing or drumming?
Oh, definitely the drumming. I've been drumming since I was just after 10 years old. So that puts me at 25 years playing the drums.
Whoa, that's a lot.
I know. I just dated myself. I mean, I was playing drums and teaching drums, and I was excelling at drums rapidly throughout my youth. And then when I was 18, I heard electronic music, and it really kind of changed my life listening to that. I wanted to recreate those drum patterns that I was hearing, which was totally different from rock and jazz and metal and various other styles I was listening to at the time. And then so it naturally progressed into producing. So I kind of started producing pre-computers, really, when I was about 18 or so, about 1996, I believe. Mm-hmm. I mean, it took a really long time to kind of figure out what I was doing all through my 20s. And I played solo shows. I was in lots of different bands. And it took quite a while to break out of Seattle. It wasn't until YouTube formed and a couple of my homemade videos became viral on YouTube. Just shortly after that, promoters and various other electronic music people started booking me gigs around the world. And that's how Pendulum, that's how Rob and Gaz came across me through my YouTube videos.
Did you keep producing during these years, or did you have a break and then now you've gone back now that you have more free time?
Well, the only real break I had with production was being on the road with Pendulum. It was very time-consuming, which was great, but I kind of reevaluated my producing. I was sitting in the room on a day-to-day basis with the two masters of producing, I feel, Rob and Gaz, and so I just sat back like a sponge, and I just absorbed everything. And then now that we're not on the road, I'm able to take what I learned and what I learned before Pendulum and really create something as unique and different and
personal.
And personal, yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and so that's where we sit today.
So how's it feel now to have finally your own baby?
Well, honestly, I have an EP. I have 2 EPs out, and I have 3 full lengths out under the name KJ SAWKA. Those sold well, and got me around the world quite often before Pendulum. But this is my first release post-Pendulum, so I'm really excited about it. Actually, Repeating Cycles, I made that tune before Pendulum. It was just on my computer for so long, and once La Medusa put the vocals on it, it took shape.
I read that now you have your own SAWKA drum vault. What does that consist of?
The SAWKA drum vault is a stack of hard drives with years of drum recording. Each year, 1 to 3 times a year, I'll go into a nice facility that's got all the goodies for audio recording, and I'll record various drum beats. The majority of the drum recordings was for the loop CDs that I've done, the loop packs. I've done several of those, and there's lots of outtakes and lots of things that I haven't used. And there's just hours and hours and hours and hours of great recorded drumming, and so when I create a song, I'll sift through all those drum tracks and figure out, the vibe of the song and stuff.
And when producing, do you always start with a drum pattern first?
I mean, usually I try to get the groove. I'll establish the groove first with a drum pattern or drum loop, or maybe 30 seconds of drumming, and then on that's looped, and then I'll fiddle around with some bass lines and keyboard parts, and then, within an hour or less or so, I'll have kind of an idea of where I'm going with the tune.
And what do you use to produce in terms of software and hardware? Any analog gear?
I used to have tons of keyboards, Juno 106 and some, let's see here. I started with the QI70, which is this tiny little sequencer from Yamaha before I got a computer. And then I had this one thing called a SP808, which was made by Roland, which was similar to a MPC, but the polyphony on it is only 4, which means you can only have 4 things going at the same time. So many years of analog equipment, but right now I'm just using Ableton and a gazillion plugins, and my studio is on the road, and then I set up my same Rode laptop here in my studio in Seattle. So there's not much analog equipment anymore.
And when you produce a track, how can you meet production goals as well as live goals?
Yeah, that's a big one. Definitely, I have to schedule my time down to the wire a lot of time, especially with the live stuff. I might play a show, like for instance this weekend I was in Winnipeg and I played a show there, and while I was playing I was like thinking that there's many things that I still need to adjust in the live-et. So then I adjusted it in my hotel room the night before the Chicago gig, and then it was smooth sailing for that gig. It can be challenging to finish tunes in a similar manner as well as do my live thing, because it's pretty involved on the programming side.
Yeah, and how about your live acts? How are they structured? Do you DJ? Do you also play drums live?
Yeah, my main live act is me on a drum kit with the computer by my side, and all the drums have these triggers on them, and they go inside this. They're plugged into this MIDI drum brain, and then that goes to my sound card via MIDI, and then into my computer via FireWire. If I stop playing drums, then there's basically no drums playing, and then when I start playing the drums, the idea is that it sounds just like the produced track.
You were telling me before that La Medusa actually put into shape the track repeating cycles. I know you have more collabs in the pipeline, right?
Oh, definitely. This is the first of many. That was the first tune that I sent her, and she has put vocals on 3 other tunes. There's one tune that's really, really shining out of those 3 others that I'll probably include on this next EP that's coming out very soon. No dates yet for the release.
Are the tunes also vocal-oriented, or are you also going to have some tunes without vocals as well?
The majority of the tunes have vocals. I have all the vocal tunes pretty much done, and so now I'm just trying to create at least 1 or 2 instrumental tunes to go along with the EP.
And are you also planning a tour for the next few months?
I have a bunch of solo one-off dates in December, and I'm planning on trying to get some sort of connecting tour happening in like January or February. I juggle touring with the other acts that I play with, so it can be a very interesting touring schedule, bouncing around. I know that there's some interest for me to play in various European markets early next year as well as Australia, so we'll see what pans out.
So tell us about this new project with Excision and Downlink. We're so excited.
It's an insane, primarily dubstep project that is going to, robot aliens from outer space. We come to pummel everyone with vast amounts of bass music. It's kind of, the main thing is to follow along on the comic books, and then that will give you a really good idea of what we're doing as it starts evolving and growing. But I've known Jeff for quite a while, and he's had this concept of Destroyed for quite some time, and we've always been good friends, and he invited me up to play one of his events probably 7 years ago or so, something like that, when he was just getting started. He wasn't touring or anything then, and I went up to play a solo KJ SAWKA show for his bass show, and he was DJing before me, and he was playing this music that I was like, wow, what is going on with this crazy bass sounds? And he's like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is called dubstep, and dubstep was really hardly even around then. So
whoa.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got to know him. He's always been this crazy bass maker, and his partner in crime, Downlink. And they need me to gel it all together on the drums to make it all go live. So we're pretty excited. We're still developing everything and stuff. It's very new. There's going to be lots of shows next year and stuff, and
So you'll start touring in like 2013, basically?
Yeah, we don't have anything specific carved out yet, but that will be our first gigs next year at some point.
So how is the live structured? You play drums and they are on the computers, or?
Yeah, I'm doing all the live drum triggering and various drum things in the whole drum world, and they are going to be triggering off all the bass lines and everything via their MIDI instruments that they have. They're kind of like guitars.
Wow, that's
We're all
awesome.
going to have computers.
Will you play mostly like your productions, Excision's productions, Downlink's productions?
Well, I don't think I should disclose that right now. It'll be a surprise for everyone.
Right, very good. So, well, we really can't wait for next year to see the first gigs. I really hope you'll come to Europe and to Italy with Destroyed and obviously with your own solo project.
Totally, absolutely, yeah. We're gearing up to play a variety of places, and maybe Europe will be on our radar, definitely at some point. I think we're going to start with America, and then I'm sure we'll play some other places around this lovely world.
That's wicked. Well, thank you very much. We're so excited, and we'll be dropping your tune again on Bass Island.
Wonderful, Vivien. That's fantastic.
Thank you for your time. Big ups.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful.